All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Conversing with the Griffins. I'm Tanya, Josh, and our youngest brother, Ryan.
The third oldest.
Third oldest, that's right.
The baby.
I'm gonna go ahead and kick this off with a quote. It says, "The strength of a family, like the strength of an army, lies in its loyalty to each other." That's by Mario Puzo. So, again, thank you all for your continual support and all the love, all the comments, everything that we receive. And y'all know how we do. I'm gonna shake this jar up and see what our topic is for the day. I know, right? It is just nerve-wracking, right? Oh God. Okay, so where did our names come from? Where did our names come from is the topic.
The Lord.
Middle names or?
Any part of the name that you know. Oh, that means I have to say my middle name.
Get it out there.
Wait a minute.
Well, any part of the name that you know where it comes from, but maybe no one knows where that came from.
Can't stand you. So I guess I have to kick it off. So my first name, some people know, some people actually don't know that my first name, I go by Tanya, but my first name is Lai Tanya.
Emphasis on the lie.
No, it's no emphasis on the lie. My mom said, this is what she said. She said that she felt like God told her to name me Tanya, but she felt like it needed some pizzazz in it. So she was thinking of like something to add to the front of my name. So she decided to put I think she said she knew a La Tanya or someone that was naming their child La Tanya or whatever. So she decided to name me Lai Tanya with the L-Y. I hate it.
Thank you.
So I have always just gone by Tanya. And my middle name is, I knew someone was going to do the drum roll. My middle name is Dewanza.
Wanza.
And a lot of people think it's African because they ask me all the time. But my mom used to be in the military, or our mom used to be in the military, and she had a really good friend there from Spain. And that was her name, Dewanza. So she told her if she ever had a girl, she would name her after me. I mean, name me after her.
It's like,
Dyslexic right now. Listen, name me after her. And so that's what she did, even though she didn't keep in contact with her and we have no clue where this person is to this day. I'm named after somebody I've never met and don't even know. So
okay, it's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Josh.
Yeah, I didn't ask and I'm not quite sure, but you know, I think if they always wanted a son, they were going to call him Joshua, and that's my name, Joshua. Middle name, Dwayne. I don't know. It has a nice ring to it, so I'll go with it.
Josh is making up something as he goes.
and Griffin, that's the surname. So I don't have a cool story behind it.
Cool story.
That's what I saw on the birth certificate. And that's
maybe Joshua because of the Bible, like Joshua out the Bible. I think that's what.
You know, if they had a son, they would call him Joshua. I mean, it's biblical, obviously. You know. And, but I didn't get the speech as far as the story. Like I don't have some, you know, oh, this was my dad's nephew's cousin's best friend. His name is Dwayne, and we're gonna call him Dwayne if we ever meet again, you know, in this life or the next. You know, like I don't have any of that story. I just, you know, I've always.
So how do you feel about your name?
It's great. It's amazing. I actually say my name at least once a day, just for the heck of it. Like
my name once a day.
I'm just kidding. Like I don't know what to think about it. It's like it's my name. It's what I use. It's my go-to. I mean,
No, but like for me,
nicknames.
I hate I strongly
Ghost.
my first I do not like my first name with a lie, like just Tanya, and I don't like my middle name at all. Griffin is Griffin. I mean, you know.
I conversely love every aspect of it. I mean, every letter from the start to the middle to the end. It's just
It does it for
it
you. It
does
does
it.
it for you.
Yeah, I didn't have some angel visit the parents or anything like that. I just it's me. It's what I do.
No, listen. Ryan has a whole like Moses.
Right. Yeah, Ryan has a Mary
experience with his
Magdalene
name.
type, some biblical Gabriel visited and all that kind of stuff.
Right. We didn't get any of that.
Right. God's with us. So.
Okay, so Ryan.
I'm still stuck on the fact that he said it's my go-to.
It's what I use. It's what I answer.
Yeah.
Like in a clutch, I say Joshua. In the clutch.
How is it working for you?
It's great. It's great. I love it.
Great. Well, I don't really know where my first
we
name.
need some like heavenly theme music as Ryan like tells the story in the background.
I'm sorry.
First of all, it's not gonna hit the Halo theme.
Like I just feel like we need.
I figured you would recognize that.
I think we need light to illuminate the room and music from heaven and all that as he tells the story.
I guess we'll go from the beginning.
Yes.
Well, I was in heaven, minding my business, and Jesus came and said, I need you to go down there because the Griffin household needs you. So, you know what, Jesus, for you, I'll do it.
It was actually reversed, but go ahead. You came.
It's actually reversed.
In my sentence, go ahead up there. Drop your pitchfork.
I'm really not too sure where Ryan comes from. I hear different things. Like they said it was like, I know Tan said she didn't like Ryan because I guess he bullied her or picked on her.
There was a Ryan in my class that bullied me. Yes, I did not want your name to be Ryan.
Maybe God wanted me to come to heal you. You got to get healing.
I'm usually thinking high of myself.
So I don't really know where Ryan comes from.
Well, they were looking through a baby's name book because I remember this. They were, and I think it was more so like they liked the meaning of it.
Makes sense.
Or something, but I just know they were flipping through baby name, like the books for babies' names, and I remember them talking about Ryan, and I was like, "Oh, absolutely not." But
I'm quite okay with it. I do like Ryan, especially when I hear that Mom wanted to name me things like Josiah.
Oh yes,
or whatever she was, some random, So Ryan's like it's been it's good, it's short, sweet, to the point, But middle name Emmanuel, that has a story with it as far as from what I'm told.
Here it comes.
From what I'm told, it was during the time I guess that Mom and Dad were separated, going through a really rough patch, possibly going towards the road of divorce. And while they were in the middle of all that, God told Mom that she was going, not only was that her marriage going to be restored, but as a symbol of the promise that they would have a child, a son, because the first one wasn't doing it. That they would have a son, basically.
Wanted to show them how worse it could get, so they had another one.
That was cold. Even Josh was taken back like, oh no, he didn't.
But basically, just as a symbol that that God is a God of, He keeps His word, that they would not only get together, but that He would restore the marriage. A symbol that would just basically that they would be pregnant, will have a son, and that basically his name shall be Emmanuel. And so Mom That's my middle name. I love the meaning of it, actually, just simply because it means God with us. And it's funny enough because my name has been a source of personal strength when I've gone through ups and downs. Like I know in college, I went through a really bad depression as well. And what kind of brought me out of it was the fact of my name being Emmanuel, or that being part of my name. And so it's kind of just interesting to see how that kind of works. Like God knew way back then, yes, I'm a quote unquote symbol of the promise that he made to mom, but that promise in itself and that word would actually be to help sustain me through some of my darker moments, in life. So yeah, so the meaning behind it, Ryan being young royalty, young king, young ruler, etc., and Emmanuel being God with us. And then I was just doing some study and research, and Griffin is technically the king of mythological beasts, and it's the only one that is the natural enemy of dragons and capable of killing a dragon. And so God was just kind of putting together that that you're royalty, you're a young ruler, who I'm always with, capable of slaying any demon or dragon or anything that opposition that comes into your life. And so it was just a real light bulb moment for me, just using the name in general to kind of launch me out of the depressive state that I was currently in. And then like you, Tanya, mom likes to throw pizzazz on names, so she doesn't even spell it the the actual way. But she wanted to be different, and so she spelled it with an E and one N. So that's how that is. So, but I like my name.
I think it's important to point out the importance of names. I know in our culture, it's it's different, but back in Jewish culture, naming someone was very significant. It was very, very important, and the one who had to name you had authority in some way over your life to name you, and names identify you. That's something that you're called for the rest of your life. That's something you answer to. So names and the meanings of them are very, very, important. Names actually, especially back then, depicted people's destiny. That's why God in the Bible would change people's names when their destinies would change. And just to go a little bit deeper, because, obviously Ryan wasn't around for all this going on surrounding his birth, but Josh and I were. But yeah, I mean, basically mom and dad, were separated, and they were actually in the process of getting a divorce. And but God spoke to mom and told her that, if she trusted him, that she would see God work a miracle in her life, where God would not only just bring dad back in a right relationship with him, with God, but bring him back to his family. And during that time, I mean, this is not something that happened overnight. I think it was like a whole year. But people were telling mom, oh, you should forget about it. Like, he's never going to come back. I mean, mom had all these people in her ear, just being negative, but she had one prayer partner, and I think her name was Pat or Pam. Josh, Pat or Pam? Pat, I think it was Pat. Yeah, Pat. And she would pray, touch and agree, and pray and say, well, if God spoke something to you, then you stand on the word of the Lord. You don't believe what other people, regardless of their title, speak if it's contrary to what God has told you. And so during that time, God gave mom, I think it was like 3 dreams. And in one of those dreams, mom saw herself pregnant. And God told her that a symbol or a sign of the reconciliation that God was going to do in their marriage would be the birth of a son, and that she was to call him Emmanuel, because God was with us. God was with us during this time that we were going through. And so that's, literally why your name is Emmanuel. It's because God was literally with us. But it was a very tough time, for us as the Griffin family. And, I just hats off to mom, because just the way she conducted, she never spoke bad about dad around us. She never dogged him out. The only thing she did is we all prayed as a family, every single night. She would even get his picture. We had a family picture, and she would just anoint it with oil, and we would pray over it. And me, I was so angry just surrounding the whole circumstances, because there was a lot of things that I witnessed that Josh didn't know or he didn't see. So I knew it, being the oldest, sometimes you see some things or you're witness to some things that younger siblings don't know or don't see. So it was one of those things where I had seen, an incident or different things that happened that caused me to be very, very angry at Dad. And so I remember one day I was so angry and I was crying. And I was like about 9 or 10. And I remember I was trying to rip Dad's picture out of our family picture. And Mom came upstairs and she saw me because I was in her room, and she saw me and she was asking what I was doing, and I was just crying, and she saw and she says, "No, this is not how we handle this." And she got some tape, the Scotch tape, and she taped his picture back. And then she said, "This is how we handle this. This is how we fight our battles." And we prayed, and she prayed, and she also prayed for me that God would just heal my heart. And like I said, I have so much respect for Mom, just because she didn't just talk it, but she lived out everything that she was saying. She lived out the scriptures in our presence when we were young. I would hear her at night. She would wake me up literally praying for her family while we were in Georgia. I remember just waking up and hearing her just cry out to God and praying for our family. So, we have a lot of, where we are is literally it's attributed to both of our parents, but definitely attributed to Mom, especially during the time Dad was away and Mom was just holding it down, for the family. So yeah.
I got a great one to add this. I think a lot of people, they see our family and they see the results, and they just automatically would want that for their kids or their family. But there's a lot of things that we haven't even really dove into it behind the scenes, and a lot of that has to do with the fact of just how much they drilled a spirit of excellence in us, from them being from the military to going into ministry, growing up in ministry, and so it was kind of those things where, like, they were so involved, everything they found a way to tie back into spirituality. I know the Bible talks about train up a child the way that he'll go, and when he gets older, he won't depart. Same concept as when your children, they, get older, they'll call you blessed. And that's that. It just, Mom and Dad lived that. They lived that. And obviously, no one's perfect, but I can't stress enough. Everyone sees the results. Oh, they were the top of their class. They are highly intellectual. They're going on, they're doing great things, quote unquote, with their lives. But behind the scenes, in the trenches, it was God this, Jesus this is what society does, what I mean? So I feel like that's something that both of them do. As you were talking about before, people don't realize that Mom, and she to this day still gets up 4:00 every morning to pray. To this day, what I mean? People don't see that, that kind of stuff is what really I feel forced us to think and operate the way that we do,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Josh, I was just waiting for his yep.
I got nothing to add. I mean, it's the truth. So I don't have nothing to say against it. She lived what she spoke, and she meant what she said, and she did what she meant. So,
in the words of Josh, you listen, if Josh ever had to write a book, that junk would be so short. It would be like 2 sentences and
it all in one page.
Right. Josh is not for the whole elaboration, elaborating. No, just get
not when you've done it all well already. It's like, anything I'd say is just a rehash of everything already said. And so instead of rehashing everything, I agree. If I disagree, I'll start there. But you haven't lied yet, even though your name is Lie Tanya. You haven't lied yet.
Seriously, it's not a lie. It's Lie Tanya.
Okay, it's just how you pronounce it.
No emphasis on the lie part.
I add the emphasis.
Lie.
You know how much I was teased in school because of that name?
I was not there.
I wasn't alive yet, so.
You were there, Josh.
In school when you were in D? I was fighting for my life. I didn't know.
Josh was always going back to I was fighting for my life.
You didn't understand what they were teaching you about. I was, ducking and moving. I mean, this is the job of the fittest. That's another topic. My goodness. I'm glad you made it through, Tanya. I'm glad you made it through.
Oh my gosh.
I think actually though, at the end, Tanya just stuck. So we don't use the lie anymore. We just say Tanya.
T.
Yeah.
Right,
T.
listen, I have so many names. Tanya, Tom. Look, I feel like, especially in our culture, Black people are lazy. The names. Because they'll name you this long, drawn out lie, Tanya, but then they never call you that by that name. Like, it's like, okay, Tanya, then that's too long. Then it's Ton, because when everybody's going around calling me Ton, then that's too long. Now it's just T. Like, really? Like,
Lipton.
I love our culture. I love our people. So, anyway, all right, another episode down with Conversing with the Griffins.
Yes.